This is an MJA Inc. Investigations warning. This MJA podcast is rated E for explicit. Some details of a case and language used on this podcast might be upsetting to some of our listeners. Listeners' discretion is advised. And for those who are still with us, kick back and enjoy the show. Welcome to our MJ podcast. This series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 12, Part 8. 8 Arizona Missing Persons. The NCIC statistics for missing people number over 600,000 a year. There are many missing children and adults that are quickly found alive and well. However, tens of thousands of individuals remain missing. In today's world, it has become an epidemic, and some cases don't even make it in the media. They have vanished without a trace. One minute they are there, and the next moment they are gone. Please join us as we go deep into the woods to find answers for these missing person cases. Good evening. My name is Mark, and I will be your host for tonight's show. Joining me later will be our co-host, Olivia. Olivia and I will profile 8 missing person cases from the state of Arizona. We are coming to you from Morrisonville, New York. Welcome to Arizona. Case 1. It was on January 20th, 1986 is when 22-year-old Lauren Carl Ledeen, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. Case 2. It was on December 12, 1984 is when 83-year-old Marianne Henrietta Bowers, her race is unknown, who vanished without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. Case 3. It was on May 4th, 1990 is when 57-year-old Leroy Young, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Scottsdale, Arizona. Case 4. It was on July 16, 1991 is when 31-year-old Lori Jillian, a white female, vanished without a trace from Scottsdale, Arizona. Case 5. It was on June 8, 2002 is when 30-year-old Jeffrey Frederick Urban Golden, a Native American male, disappeared without a trace from Morcini, Arizona. Case 6. It was on August 10th, 1995 is when 35-year-old Diane Van Reeth, a white female, vanished without a trace from Winter Haven, Arizona. Case 7. It was on January 14th, 2004 is when 52-year-old Charles Lynn Simmons, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. Case 8. It was on September 21st, 1998 is when 49-year-old Cookie Sharon Jacobson, a white female, vanished without a trace from Tempe, Arizona. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia will be on the line. Be back in a moment.
Searching in the dark, trusting every clue I found, but the truth has not been told. Lose every corner of these woods is hollow. I can't see in the dark.
Welcome to our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 12, Part 8, 8 Arizona Missing Persons. We have Olivia on the line tonight. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm just peachy. Okay, are you ready to dig into these unsolved mysteries?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay. Welcome to Arizona. The Doe Network has 78 males and 55 females listed as being missing from the state of Arizona. Case 1. Welcome to Tucson, Arizona. Missing male. It was on January 20th, 1986 is when 22-year-old Lauren Carl Ledeen, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. The 22-year-old Ledeen was last seen departing from his apartment in Tucson, Arizona on January 20th, 1986. Law enforcement believe that Ledeen planned to take a jog near the Sabino Canyon area at the time of his disappearance. On January 22nd, 1986, Ladine's vehicle was discovered abandoned inside a parking lot at the Sabino High School. This was about 2 days after his disappearance. The 22-year-old Ladine's keys, except for the ignition key, and his wallet was found locked inside the car. But there was no other evidence of Ladine at the scene. The 22-year-old Ladine's family members received a tip from the Salvation Army Missing Persons Services that Ladine may have been sighted in El Paso, Texas sometime after 1986. The tip has never been confirmed. Ladine was a student at the University of Arizona in 1986 and planned to become an athletic trainer after his graduation. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Tucson Police Department, Sergeant Scott Haynes, at 520-791-4444.
Case 2. Welcome to Tucson, Arizona. Missing female. It's on December 12, 1984, when 83-year-old Marion Henrietta Bowers, a white female, vanished without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. Bowers' adult son claims he drove up from Mexico to take his 83-year-old mother to Sears in Tucson, Arizona. Her son claims he dropped off his mother at the entrance of Sears and went to park his truck. But when her son went inside Sears, his mother was gone. Bowers' son reportedly searched for her in a store and adjoining shopping mall for 6 hours before reporting her missing. An extensive search was conducted in which photos of the 83-year-old Bowers were shown, but no one in the mall reported having seen her. None of Mrs. Bowers' friends in Mexico knew of her plans to travel to Tucson, and their friends in Tucson were not expecting them. 83-year-old Marion Henrietta Bowers has never been seen again. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call Tucson Police Department, Detective Maria Cheek, at 520-791-4444.
Case 3. Welcome to Scottsdale, Arizona. Missing male. It was on May 4th, 1990, as when 57-year-old Leroy Young, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Scottsdale, Arizona. It was around 12:30 p.m. as when the 57-year-old Young was last seen leaving a restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona on May 4th, 1990. Lee Young or someone else used his car phone after 2 p.m. that afternoon. On May 5th, 1990, Young's plum-colored Lincoln Town Car was located burning in the desert 100 miles south of Phoenix, Arizona. The 57-year-old Young always carried large amounts of cash to buy jewelry, which he sold in his spare time. When the police opened the trunk to Young's burned-out car, they found jewelry worth thousands of dollars. So it appears that robbery wasn't the motive. The briefcase that carried Young's files was missing from the trunk. The 57-year-old Lee Young was a bank executive in Scottsdale, Arizona. At the time of Young's disappearance, he was investigating a possible fraud case against his bank. Lee Young had recently contacted the federal drug agents because he suspected that his bank was being used by a money laundering ring. Foul play is suspected in Young's disappearance. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Scottsdale Police Department, Detective Hugh Lockerbie, at 480-312-5155.
Case 4. Welcome to Scottsdale, Arizona. missing female. It was on July 16, 1991, when 31-year-old Lori Dia Julian, a white female, vanished without a trace from Scottsdale, Arizona. Accounts differ as to whether Julian was at her lawyer's office discussing an accident settlement or leaving a bar, or at the 7-Eleven store. What they all do agree on is the 31-year-old Julian was last seen in Scottsdale, Arizona on July 16, 1991. The 31-year-old Lori Dia Julian has never been seen or heard from again. Julian has 2 daughters. Lori Julian was divorced from their father, and he has custody of their 2 daughters. The 31-year-old Julian always contacted her daughters at holidays and on their birthdays. Lori Dia Julian was reported missing after she didn't get in touch on her older daughter's 12th birthday on July 30th, 1991. The 31-year-old Julian gave birth to a son a few months before his disappearance, but the baby died a few days after birth. After Julian's son's death, Julian said she wanted to turn her life around. Lori Dia Julian planned to move in with a friend and go into rehabilitation for her substance abuse issues. But the 31-year-old Julian disappeared before she was able to do those things. Julian worked as a waitress and a bartender, and in 1991 and often hitchhiked alone from truck stops, and Julian traveled throughout the country. The 31-year-old Julian occasionally dropped out of sight for weeks at a time. The family says Julian would never have gone this long without contact. Foul play is suspected. Lori Dia Julian's case was reopened in 2003, but it remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Scottsdale Police Department, Detective Hugh Lockerbie at 480-312-5155.
Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia and I will profile 4 more missing person cases from the state of Arizona. Be back in a moment.
I've been searching in the dark, trusting every clue I've found. But the truth has not been told. There's every corner of these woods is hollow. I can't see the dark.
Welcome back to our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 12, Part 8, 8 Arizona Missing Persons. Case 5. Welcome to Morsi, Arizona. Missing male. It was on June 8, 2002, is when 30-year-old Jeffrey Frederick Irvin Golden, a Native American male, disappeared without a trace from Morsi, Arizona. The 30-year-old Golden left his residence to go to a local Circle K convenience store. Jeffrey Golden was last seen driving about a half a mile south of Morsi on Reservation Road in the direction of the San Francisco River. On June 9, 2002, Golden's blue pickup truck was located in the San Francisco River. A blue ice cooler and a dead fire were found near the riverbank about 90 yards from the pickup truck, leading investigators to believe that the 30-year-old Golden did not drown in the river. Helicopter and ground searches over the next 3 days found no sign of the 30-year-old Golden in the area. Jeffrey Golden had lent his car to a co-worker on the night he went missing. The same day Golden's truck was recovered from the river, the co-worker returned Jeffrey's car. Inside Golden's car was his wallet, checkbook, and his watch. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Greenlee County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Tim Sumner, at 928-865-4149.
Case 6. Welcome to Winter Haven, Arizona. Missing female. It was on August 10th, 1995, when 35-year-old Diane Van Reese, white female, vanished without a trace from Winter Haven, Arizona. Diane Van Reese disappeared on August 10th, 1995, after she left her Winter Haven home for work. The 35-year-old Van Reese never arrived at TEP, where she was a research coordinator in the tax services office. Tucson police recovered Van Reese's maroon 1992 Ford Aerostar van about 2 blocks from her home in a parking lot. Van Reese's keys were not in the van. There were no signs of a struggle in the vehicle. Diane Van Reese's husband, John Joseph Kalhauser, was arrested on fugitive and forgery charges. Kalhauser also faces a 1980 attempted murder charge in Massachusetts. Kalhauser's initial explanation for the disappearance of 35-year-old Van Reese, a mother of 2, was that she ran off with another man. Kalhauser used an alias while he was on the run from 1979 murder attempts in Massachusetts. Kalhauser and Van Reese married in 1986. The 35-year-old Van Reese filed for divorce in July 1995 and disappeared the next month. This was shortly after her attorney told Kalhauser that Van Reese wanted sole custody of the children and that he should move out. Van Reese's identification cards was found wrapped in a red cloth behind a metal cabinet at the manufacturing firm where Kalhauser once worked. Discovery was made as the firm was moving to a new shop. Kalhauser maintains it is unknown whether Van Reese is dead. Kalhauser was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 1999. Kalhauser talked about dumping Van Reese's body in a Mount Lemon mine shaft. A Massachusetts jury convicted Kalhauser in 1996 for shooting his former fiance's boyfriend and was sentenced to 24 years in prison. At 17 years old, Kalhauser was convicted of manslaughter in 1971 for killing a 52-year-old man. After the 32-year-old Van Reese's disappearance, Van Reese's mother came to legal custody of the couple's 2 young sons. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Tucson Police Department at 520-791-5700.
Case 7. Welcome to Tucson, Arizona. Missing male. It was on January 14, 2004, is when 52-year-old Charles Lynn Simmons, a white male, disappeared without a trace from Tucson, Arizona. Charles Simmons had just returned to Tucson, Arizona from a mining operation. All indications bears out that the 52-year-old Simmons was last heard from on January 14, 2004. At the time of his disappearance, Simmons had no known medical condition or physical disabilities. It was on January 17, 2004, just 3 days after Simmons' disappearance, his Ford F-150 pickup truck was found abandoned. The truck was in a tow-away zone across the street from a warehouse where he and his partner collected and sold semi-precious minerals. There was no sign of the 52-year-old Simmons at the scene, and there was no indication of a struggle. Police suspect foul play was involved. There has been no activity on Simmons' finances. There has been no possible sightings of Simmons, and he does not have a history of disappearing. The case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4600.
Case 8. Welcome to Tempe, Arizona. Missing female. It was on September 21st, 1998, when 49-year-old Cookie Sharon Jacobson, a white female, vanished without a trace from Tempe, Arizona. It was during the evening hours of September 21, 1998, when Jacobson was last seen inside her home. The 49-year-old Cookie Sharon Jacobson has never been seen or heard from again. All of Jacobson's personal belongings were located inside her home. The 49-year-old Cookie Sharon Jacobson was reported missing on September 22, 1998, the day after her disappearance. Now here's a pure evil twist to the case. Law enforcement believes Cookie's son Aaron, who was 16 years old at the time, murdered his mother that night. Then Aaron was assisted in the disposal of his mother's remains by his 13-year-old sister Laura. 10 days after Cookie Sharon Jacobson's disappearance, her son Aaron confessed that he had found his mother dead in bed. Then Laura helped him to dispose of their mother's body because they feared they would be blamed for killing her. Aaron said he wrapped his mother's body in a yellow bedsheet and placed it in a trash can behind their house. The 49-year-old Cookie Jacobson's blood was found in the trash can, but there wasn't enough blood to prove she had died. Aaron failed a polygraph about his mother's disappearance, and Laura's polygraph results were inconclusive. Aaron was arrested for second-degree murder, and Laura for facilitation to commit second-degree murder. With the lack of corroborating evidence, forced investigators to let them go within hours and continue working the case. The 49-year-old Jacobson's children remain the prime suspects in her presumed homicide. Law enforcement believe Jacobson's body is in the Butterfield Station landfill. They searched through 7,500 tons of trash for 59 days and found nothing. In 2003, an anonymous individual called Television Station with a tip on the disappearance of 49-year-old Cookie Sharon Jacobson. Investigators considered the caller's information useful. They were never able to identify the individual or contact him or her again. This case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Tempe Police Department at 602-350-8311.
Okay, Olivia, is there anything you would like to add to any of these cases?
Two of them. The 83-year-old woman that came up from Mexico with her son.
Yeah.
Nobody knew they were coming into Arizona.
Yeah.
I think the son had something to do with that. And the woman who lost her child, she was on drugs, the young girl.
Yeah.
She lost her baby. I think she just maybe possibly overdosed and just wandered into the desert and died that way. That's just my feeling. You know, maybe it was depressed. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, on the 83-year-old, yes, the son does seem to be the likely suspect, and the one about the drug overdose, yeah, that'd be fine and dandy, but she hadn't been located unless she is one of the Jane Does they might have in Arizona.
There's a lot of animals in the desert, you know, Arizona.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened.
Yeah,
you know?
she'd be scattered, but there would be some sign of her if she just went out in the desert and overdosed. There'd be some sign of her. But like I said, she could be a Jane Doe that just hasn't been identified yet.
Yeah, a lot of these cases, and the one with the son and the daughter killing the mother, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh well, there's a lot of cases like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you? It's like maybe they knew who killed them and they just wanted to take the rap for that person. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I want to thank Olivia for being on the show tonight. A special thanks goes to our viewers and listeners for tuning in, for y'all have been so kind. I have a quote for you all. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Albert Einstein. Always remember, folks, that if you ever get bored with nothing to do, well, take a walk deep into the woods. You might be surprised at what you might find. That's the end of our MJA podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods. This has been episode 12, part 8. 8 Arizona missing persons. We say to all of you, good night from Morrisonville, New York.
What does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? Here on earth it feels like every day good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir. I hope the angels know what they have out there. It's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Now tell me, what do you do up in heaven? All your days filled with love and light. Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing